This report by Datafortune is made for the decision makers in the hospital industry, which helps them visualize the data that is coming through to them from their business and to better understand the trends within the same. Starting off with the revenue dashboard, we have a selection of slicers for the month and the departments of the hospital to better slice and dice the data according to the user's requirements and to visualize the data as they see fit. We have a selection of visuals highlighting the nature of claims and the distributions for the same, like the claims by gender, which distributes the nature of the claims across the months of the year and by gender to better understand the nature of the patients coming through, and the net income versus spend, which gives us an analysis in the disparity between the income and the spend of each department in the hospital. To get a more precise view of the same, the user can always toggle to the table view, and this report would be helpful for the financial decision makers like the CFOs and the board of directors and the trustees of the hospital. Moving on to the patient dashboard, we have a selection of visuals which highlight the distribution of patients across different categories like the departments, the number of days they spend in the hospital, and the risk level, etc., etc. We have slicers for the visual for the trend analysis here, which highlights the trends between the in and out patients for each month, new and recurring patients to better understand the distribution of patients coming through the hospital, and the bed occupancy, which helps the operations aspect of the hospital to understand their occupancy needs and if they have enough beds to accommodate all the patients coming through. We have a selection of slicers here as well for each department and a distribution of data across risk level to understand the severity of the cases handled by each department and by each doctor, and the average age of the patient coming through to each department, which helps the operations and the financial decision makers establish a demographic to target for each department. A selection of useful KPIs for the distribution of patients and the accidental and emergency patients coming through help the user understand the distribution of patients once again on a much greater scale. Coming over to the doctors and staff dashboard here, we have a selection of slicers once again for the month, staff type, and a staff ID to have a precise look of the data for each employee of the hospital. And also we have a slicer for the heads of departments, which helps us analyze the data in accordance to each department. Also, we have a selection of very helpful visuals which help us establish correlations between the profits by department, the revenues by doctor selection, employee breakdown, patient load handled, which can also be drilled down according to months of the year, employees based on shifts for operations to establish better shifts and to make sure employee satisfaction is at its max, and patient feedback to see how the hospital is being perceived by the general public as a whole. So this can help various aspects of the business make better decisions and to move their business forward. To ask us more questions about the dashboard, feel free to reach out to us on our website at www.datafortune.com.